Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhangsa Brahadakacharya Asadhara Siddhushi Shimat. His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Haribo Slava Zabrani Bhaktam Slava Shri Guru Ishi Gaurangi. Om Agana Tumanandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Hayam Tadati Swapadantikam Pandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Prajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Padan Lalita Shri Visakans Vitam Scha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchina Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapa Dhruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, text number 10. Saha Yagya Praja Shrisva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavish Yadvam Esha Vosh Vishta Karmaduk Saha Jagna Praja Shrisva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavish Yadvam Esha Vosh Vishta Karmaduk Hajagna Pradashvisva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishadvam Eshavo Vishta Karmaduk Sahajagna Prajashvisva Puravacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishadvam Eshavosvishta Kamaduk Sahajagna Prajashvisva Prajapati Eshavosvishadvam Shayovishta Kamaduk. Ladies. Ahajagna Prajashvisva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishadvam Eshavosvishta Kamaduk. Saha, along with Yagya, sacrifices, Praja, generations, Shvisva, creating, Pura, anciently, Uvacha, said, Prajapati, the Lord of creatures, Anena, by this, Prasavishadvam, be more and more prosperous. Esha, this, Vaha, your, Astu, let it be, Ishta, of all desirable things, Kamaduk, bestower. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yagya, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Please repeat. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yagya, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. All living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of their forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relationship, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa savarham eva vedya. The Lord says that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns it is said, Patim Vishvasyat Meshvaram. Therefore the Lord of the living entities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, 2.4.20, Srila Shukadeva Goswami describes the Lord as Pati in so many ways. Shrek Pati, Jagapati, Prajapati, Diyampatir, Lokapatir, Dharapati, Patir Gatis, Chandrika Vishnu, Sattvatam, Prasidatam, Me Bhagavan Satampati. The Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and He is the Lord of all living creatures, all worlds and all beauties, and the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yagyas, sacrifices, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. This is the whole program for the conditioned soul. By performance of yajna, the conditioned soul gradually becomes Krishna conscious souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. In the age of Kali, Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the names of God is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtan Yajna and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532 as follows, with special reference to the Sankirtan Yajna. Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagnai Sankirtana Prayara Yantihi Sameda Saha. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates, by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. Other yajnas prescribed in the Vedic literatures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sankirtan Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in the Bhagavad Gita also, 9:14. Saha Jagna Prajashesva Puro Prokta Prajapati Ainena Prasavi Shadvam Eshayos Vishva Kamaduk. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrificers for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yaga sacrifice, because this performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatyade Siddharna. How sacrifice helps bring about higher consciousness, and what does higher consciousness have to do with prosperity? After all, we can find Vyasadeva in the Himalayas living in a hut, and he's supposed to have the highest consciousness. And he has the lowest standard of living. He's contributing practically nothing to the gross national product. So how could he be prosperous? No, people take his books and they sell it. They become prosperous. Besides that, his books have been out of copyright for a long time. Around 5,000 years. Well, the question is, what do we consider prosperous? If a man has a whole bunch of plastic and steel in a certain form, do we consider them prosperous? Say you are offered $1 billion on the condition that you couldn't eat anything or drink anything for 2 months. Would you accept the $2 billion? What's that? Well, we could try it out. If you don't survive, you don't get the $2 billion. No water, no food for 2 months. Well, maybe we'll just for 2 weeks you won't get any water. So the point is that is actually our everyone is looking to have better consciousness, actually. And material paraphernalia is only to assist in that consciousness. Here, the idea is that Krishna gave us all this material energy for sacrifice for him. Because after all, since we didn't want to serve him in the spiritual world, therefore we couldn't exist there. We wouldn't have anything to do. If you don't want to serve Krishna in the spiritual world, what are you going to do? Everyone else is serving Krishna, and you're just kind of like standing there, doing nothing. You can't get a job in the spiritual world. Everyone is unemployed. There's no factories. There's no education. There's absolutely no upward mobility in the spiritual world. If you make garlands, you do that forever. So you better like making garlands. If you're a cook, you're cooking forever. Matter of fact, you may be in the kitchen for many lifetimes of Brahma will go by. And if you're going to dance, you dance forever. But here in the material world, people don't want to serve Krishna. So Krishna is given like a little child. She's only 5 years old. She can't really cook. She can't even reach the stove, what to speak of cooking. So her mother gives her a plastic kitchen with plastic pots and plastic chapatis. And she thinks she's cooking. But actually, she's not going to do herself any real harm because this plastic fire doesn't really burn anyone. And her mother won't let her eat the plastic chapatis. Still, she imagines herself to be something that she's actually not. So in the material world, there's an opportunity. Everyone can use their imaginations to the fullest extent possible and imagine themselves to be so many different things. And so Krishna appears in 8,400,000 in so many different species of life, as the fish, as a tortoise, as a Hansa avatar, a swan. So similarly, we can imitate Krishna and appear in 8,400,000 species of life. And if we can't become the king or queen in the human form of life, we can become the king of the cockroaches. And all the other cockroaches will pay respects to us. Now that may not be appreciated by us, but if you're king of the cockroaches, you think at least I get some respect. Before, when I was living in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, no one gave me any respect, but now I'm getting some respect. Besides that, I have a big family. I have around 10,000 little cockroaches in my family, so we're a pretty tight family. We live in 1 square inch of the wall. I mean, we're a pretty together family. I don't have to work. I don't have to pay for education for my children. Food is all free. House is usually warm, except if the temple president doesn't turn on the heat in the winter. Otherwise, we're having a good time. So, this is the result of we get a body according to our willingness to serve Krishna. The less willing we are to serve Krishna, then we get a proportional body, where we think we're going to serve our senses. Directly or indirectly, we have to serve Krishna because these bodies are actually all manifestations of the universal form. These are not our bodies. We're simply situated in the body, and the body is being moved by the material nature. It says that actually all these material universes are just manifestations of Mahavishnu's dream. For Mahavishnu, it's a dream, and for us, it's an hallucination. So we're influencing Mahavishnu to manifest his dream in a certain way. whatever dream Mahavishnu decides to have, it's reality. For us, it's a reality. So, still the soul is actually, as it says, is neither doing anything nor is he entangled. All he can do is desire. And when he desires to live in the illusory material world, then Krishna creates the illusory world for him and so many opportunities for so-called material enjoyment. And when the soul desires, which Krishna wants, to serve Krishna, then he changes the material nature into the spiritual energy. And therefore one can actually, by his desire, simply desiring to serve Krishna, Krishna manifests so many different services for him that he thinks he's doing. But even the service we're doing is simply we're an instrument for Krishna. We're desiring, and Krishna is manifesting through his internal energy our activities, which are devotional. In the spiritual world, there's nothing but sacrifice, because our very desire is an activity in the spiritual world. Here we desire it, but that desire is fulfilled by Krishna. But in the spiritual world, we desire and we directly serve Krishna. Here we can also directly serve Krishna because our very desire to serve Krishna is a service to Krishna. That is our service to Krishna. And if we think we're doing so many wonderful things, we're wrong. The only thing we're doing is agree to be a loyal citizen of the spiritual world and to have Krishna use us as an instrument in his service. But everything is being done by the internal energy, not by ourselves directly. Therefore, Krishna is very kind. He's manifested in the material world. Either we can utilize it in some kind of illusory engagement for no one's benefit, or we can utilize it for Krishna's service, and therefore Krishna's service is simply to enlighten others that they have no other business than to love Krishna. And that's our business, everyone's business, is to love Krishna. And this is our opportunity to get to know Krishna by utilizing his energies in his service. And the more we do that, then the more Krishna reveals himself to us. And the more Krishna reveals himself to us, then the more our natural love for him manifests itself. And then we can understand that the only purpose of life is to serve Krishna out of love. The very love that we have when we become aware of Krishna is service to Krishna. But that manifests itself in a variety of activities. Just like we can see that our love for Krishna also manifests itself in a variety of activities here. Especially love for the holy name. If one can chant Hare Krishna happily and pay attention to Krishna, because the art of Krishna consciousness is the art of focusing one's attention and then giving one's love to Krishna. So if we actually have faith in Krishna and we just chant Hare Krishna happily, then we're engaged in Krishna's service. And of course, if we have this desire to engage in Krishna's loving service, then when Krishna sees that we actually want to engage in his loving service, then he puts us under the internal energy, and then we can actually know what love actually means. But if we don't believe in Krishna, we don't have so much faith, and we don't really interested in loving Krishna, finding out what that's like, then why will Krishna reveal that to us? So we may not be in love with Krishna right now, but if we ask Krishna to put us into his loving service, and he puts us into his loving service, then we'll get some more and more insight what actually loving service to Krishna means. That's the whole mystery that we want to experience. What does actually loving service to Krishna mean? And we hear it's all blissful. It's full of endless varieties of consciousness, and it goes on forever. So that's what we should do. When we chant Hare Krishna, the sacrifice of this age, doing it in such a way as to ask Krishna to engage us in his loving service. Instead of just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Try to do it as lovingly as we can. And then Krishna will see we actually have some interest in his loving service, and then he'll reveal to us what that means more and more. We show some interest in it, some curiosity at least. Then Krishna will, because if that's what our desire is, then Krishna will fulfill that desire. Krishna has been accompanying us since time immemorial, simply fulfilling our desires. The question is what our desire is, so that we have to observe what my desires are and understand that we have an opportunity at any time to simply ask Krishna to engage, whatever we're doing, to engage us in his loving service while we're doing that. And Krishna will give us the intelligence and the experience so we'll understand what it is. We simply have to develop a desire for that. And that will come in the course of time of just trying to develop the desire for it. And the Krishna, as he reveals it to us, then our desire for it will increase. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? What is loving service?
Do we maybe have some practical advice for when we can't chant lovingly, but we want to, but sometimes it just doesn't go this way. So if you have some...
It's impossible. Anytime you can try. You can try. I mean, Krishna, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, that one should accept a spiritual master in the line of the succession from the Lord himself. And one should accept the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret advance in spiritual life. One should be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when the spiritual master sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. So in other words, of course, we can't expect to always be anxious to serve Krishna because we're conditioned souls. And sometimes we're in the mode of ignorance, sometimes in the mode of passion, sometimes in the mode of goodness, sometimes a mixture of all of them. We should expect that. But we should also keep in mind that whatever mode of material, whatever my inspiration is at that particular time, I can still try to do the best I can for Krishna. There's no barrier to making an effort. Except that I may not have, if I could do that, even in the worst circumstance, if I can make an effort, even when I have the least inspiration to do so, then I can make the greatest advancement. So we should keep that in mind. I don't feel like, for instance, we may think, well, I don't really feel like doing anything, but maybe I'll pick up a book. No, I don't really. And then we pick it up anyhow and read it. Then Krishna will see that we passed a big test. Instead of just giving in to our mode of material nature that we're under at the present time, we've transcended it by doing something spiritual. And Krishna will be very happy with us. He'll be very pleased that we make such an effort. So our greatest advancement may not be always when we're most enthusiastic. It may be when we're least enthusiastic and we make an effort to do something for Krishna. Then Krishna takes that as a big austerity. Easy to do things when you're enthusiastic. Very difficult to do things when we're not so enthusiastic. But if we make an effort, then we'll become enthusiastic. They asked Prabhupada, what should we do when we don't feel like dancing? Prabhupada said, just dance, and then you'll feel like dancing after some time. That's why we have philosophy, to convince us when we don't want to do something, that we should do it anyhow for Krishna. After all, someone offended me, and I want to walk up to them and say, I hate you. That's where our mind tells us. But if we don't do that, and we act humbly, then we make great advancement. Just like Vishnu. When Bhrigu Muni wanted to test Vishnu, who is the topmost personality in the universe, he offended his father, Lord Brahma, by not respecting him within the mind, by not offering him obeisances. And Brahma wanted to curse him, although he checked his desire. When he went to his brother's Kailas, and his brother Shiva came to embrace him, he said, "Stop, you're dirty, filthy, you're surrounded by all kinds of ghosts, don't touch me." So his brother became very angry and wanted to kill him with his trident, but Parvati saved Bhrigu Muni. But when he went to Sweta Dweep, and there Vishnu was lying on a bed and Lakshmi was massaging him, Bhrigu burst into the room, went up to Vishnu and kicked him in the chest. So Vishnu, instead of becoming angry or cursing Bhrigu Muni, got down from his bed, put Bhrigu Muni on the bed and started to massage his foot. He said, "My dear Bhrigu Muni, I'm so sorry I offended you. I didn't realize that you came. I should have come and greet you. I hope that your soft lotus foot wasn't harmed when it hit my hard chest. So let me massage it to make it feel better. And please stay in my Vaikuntha planet because you're a great Brahmin, and purify it. I'm so happy you came here." So that's a whole, if someone came up to you while you were lying in your bed and kicked you in your chest, what would you do?
Even if I would do like Vishnu, I wouldn't feel like him if I would do this. That's the...
Yeah, but that would be a great advancement. We may not feel like it, but still we use our intelligence. We're on a whole different platform of activity, at least, even if not completely of consciousness. But that's the first step for higher consciousness. Change our activities. Use our intelligence to do what Krishna would want us to do, rather than what the material nature impels us to do. So we have to use our intelligence gradually to do what Krishna, our spiritual master, and our acharyas would like us to do. And that will be our steps towards actually experiencing our real existence again. So when we're feeling not so enthusiastic, we should take it as a great opportunity to make a lot of spiritual advancement. After all, at the time of death, most people don't feel very enthusiastic. It's time to chant Hare Krishna. It's not. Most people don't want to take out their japa beads and chant some extra rounds. But it's a great test, and that's what we're being prepared for, to pass that test. Thank you. Anything else? Wala Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda.